What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
What's up, Trent?
Hey, Trent.
Audio working? Everything good?
Yeah,
Yes, sound good.
surprisingly, everything's actually working on the way it's supposed to, on time and all that stuff.
Knock
Let's
on
not
wood,
jinx it.
brother.
Yeah,
Let's not jinx it.
yeah. Oh well. I was watching that Jinx video I sent you earlier, right before I came on. So that's pretty cool. If you haven't
Yeah.
seen that Charlie Star and Cody Jinx video,
Yeah, that'll be cool.
yeah. So guys, I've been talking about him while he was in the chats there. So this episode is going to be Mr. Trent Cowie. I'll admit I didn't know much about your music until Talbot started playing it and telling me about you, and Shorty would pop in our lives and tell me to go play your song. So you know, it was it's always nice to find new music anyway, especially seems to be good folks. So that's a win-win too.
Man, I appreciate the love. I'm excited to be on.
Man, so I guess we'll start. I know you're in Texas, but I'm in Tennessee, so I don't know a whole lot about Texas. What part of Texas are you in?
Man, so I'm 45 miles north of Houston, and when anybody ever asks me where I'm from, I say Magnolia. They're like, "Where's that?" And then I just say Houston. So it's not too far up the road from the big city, but just far enough away.
That probably makes it a lot more convenient as far as gigs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Man, to be honest with you, we really try not to play in Houston too much. We like to try to get out and come back home every now and then, and sell some tickets. But it's great, man. It's cool down here. There's a lot of people doing the live music scene in Houston, and it's nothing bad to say about Houston music scene. I just like traveling. I'm a road dog, man. I like to get out of town. So
See new places, and you can always come back home when you're done.
exactly, yeah.
Yep, I understand completely. I'm assuming you already know Talbot there.
Yeah,
Oh,
we know
yeah.
each other a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Talbot.
Good to see you, man.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Do you mind giving us like your 90-second commercial? Kind of tell us your backstory for somebody that maybe isn't familiar at all with your music.
Yeah, man. So, in a nutshell, I guess start from the very beginning. I used to work in the oil field and tried to play guitar my whole life, and was doing some gigs while I was working in West Texas on my days off, and got laid off and let go from the oil field, and decided to hit it full time, and linked up with some good friends of mine, and we started a little band back in 2018 is when we played our first real full band show. Man, we just kind of try to play a blend of Texas rock with a little bit of Texas country in there too. So it's kind of along the vein of, maybe, I don't know, like Whiskey Myers mixed with Cody Johnson, if that makes any sense at all, kind of just to give anybody an idea listening, But I grew up on that old school country when I was a kid, and then as I got older, I started listening to early 2000s rock and alternative, and just really fell in love with it. So somewhere in the middle of all that is what I'm trying to write and create.
Makes sense. I know a lot of times I will describe, because I like lots of different kinds of music, but country music has always kind of been the background music of what's been going on in my world. And so as I grew up, I found other genres, but I always kind of gravitated somewhat back to country music. And so I think it's easier for folks that grow up in an area where there's a lot of country music. It's kind of always there. Everywhere you go, it's there. Yeah. Well, love your sound, man. Super excited to have you on tonight, and hopefully you can gain some new ears.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You do have a different sound as far as it's not a and I'm not saying this in any kind of bad way, but it's not a generic cowboy kind of sound either. I love that music as well, but you're definitely have a little bit more rocking to it for sure. Lyrics, it's still hitting on those the important stuff, but the the music is definitely more rocking. So you can hear those influences for sure, which is cool.
Yeah, man, country lyrics for sure with rock and roll music. I think that's a great way to do it. And, that just comes from just what I listen to. I think as artists, you gather inspiration from every single thing that you come across. And man, I was joking the other day. My playlist on my phone is just anything from rap to old school country to even some emo screamo stuff in there. So like, dude, it's just a melting pot of different stuff. And so I think that's where you really find it is from a little bit of everything. And it's cool. It's cool to hear that. So I appreciate that.
I think it was Jared Talbot that said that if you think a cowboy is listening to George Strait when he's hopping on a bull, you're sadly mistaken.
Yeah. Well, and I think.
Yeah, I was just going to say that just proves that sometimes the listeners of country music can be sometimes in a box, but those cowboys that they're singing about aren't necessarily. They're all over the place, and they got to get psyched up for their rides and stuff too. So. Yeah,
no question. There's the country thing is so broad, but there are plenty of country people that I know that don't listen to very much country music, and so it is kind of a funny, I don't know, parallel or lack of parallel, maybe. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it is wild.
You ever get any kind of backlash or anything from your sound, or is it pretty well welcoming? I mean, I know I'm sure most of the younger people really accept what you're doing for the most part.
Man, I think, so that's funny that you asked that, because just the other day I was talking to Jamie about this. So I'm sponsored by Cowboy Revolution Apparel Company, and they're really good friends of mine, and Talbot's too. And we're in I'm in a lot of their TikTok ads, and there's a video of me playing the Houston Rodeo, and I'm wearing one of the cowboy hats. It was the black and white one, I think, but a couple of people commented on there, not cowboy, not country, or something like that. And I said, well, all right, that's fair, I guess. But you don't know really the point of this hat. It's all relative, man. It's not necessarily what you play. It's what you believe in. It's your lifestyle, So I thought that was kind of funny. So to answer your question, I've had a few of those little comments here and there of like, oh, this ain't country, but it ain't really supposed to be all country, man. It's supposed to be kind of right in the middle of, like I said earlier, that country rock. So, if people are with it, that's great. And if people aren't, that's cool too. It's different flavor, I guess. But
I think too, if you take a snapshot in time too, your music can change. It's what you might come out with today might be a little bit different than, hopefully, a little bit different down the road, and that can even change genres at some point. So, it is what it is. But everybody's going to have an opinion, right?
Right. Well, you can't wear out the same old sound for years and years. I mean, you got to switch it up a little bit. At least stay on the same highway, but not necessarily in the same lane. You know what I mean? In my opinion. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, also, if you were trying to stand up there with, starch jeans and a hat and everything, you would probably not be authentic at that point in time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So, that would, I think they would smell that out too.
Right. Yeah, so. We're all like, we always talk about, before the show, we're always like, what's the vibe for tonight, boys? And 9 times out of 10, the whole band says, let's wear all black. So, we're not starching, and I don't wear a cowboy hat, a real one per se. So, yeah, that's funny.
Well, I just mean if you're at the rodeo and you're pretending to be a cowboy for that night for those pictures, then they would sniff that out. Especially the real cowboys would sniff that out, anyways.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It'd be the male version of the Buckle Bunny. So. You got another question?
Yeah, you bet. A lot of people. I hear this asked. I don't listen to a ton of podcasts, but I do listen to a few. But I always hear the question, like, who are your influences? And I feel like that's been a little bit worn out. So maybe a different way to ask it, as a songwriter, what are some songs that you wish you had written, that somebody else did?
Oh, that's a good man. Honestly, man, that first song that comes to mind is "Settle for a Slowdown" by Dirk Bentley.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
good
sure
too.
who wrote that song, but I don't know if he had written it on it too. But dude, that's like, I don't know why, but I freaking love that song. So it'll probably be up there, and then man, that's a tough question because there's a lot of good songs that you're like, could have done something with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think Dirks wrote it.
Did he? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. I love that even more now.
Yeah, for sure.
And then another one, another great song it just lyrically is awesome is "Good Directions" by Billy Currington. That's another good song that I wish I'd have written. That
I
song
haven't
is
heard that in a while. That's cool. Yeah.
It's just a nostalgic, man. It's like that was like the early 2000s country, that
Yep.
like for me, that was like when I was going to the dance halls, trying to ask girls to dance, and that was the kind of stuff that was playing. So it's just like, for me, it's like always be in my head as a memory that way, Going to the bar.
Absolutely.
Well, those are songs too that even though they're Nashville, radio songs, they're still quality songs too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and man, I hadn't gotten to Nashville a whole lot. I've only been one time, but yeah, man, I guess there's kind of a rip between Texas and Nashville. I don't know. I don't know much about it, but I don't know. I love what I hear. If I hear something good, I don't care where it comes from.
Yeah, but I think my point was mainly the songs you name kind of hold up.
Yeah, exactly.
If that makes sense. They're not part of the cheesy part of Nashville. So
Right.
Well, part of that whole Texas Tennessee thing or Texas Nashville thing or whatever is a little bit. I mean, it can be kind of manufactured on both sides for different reasons. There aren't many big Texas artists that don't spend a heck of a lot of time in Nashville and spend a lot of money and resources in Nashville. So, part of it is a little bit of red meat for at least in my opinion, part of it is a little bit of the red meat for the fans because they like to create this little bit of division or whatever. But,
Right.
There's so much overlap between the two. I think, and then, with streaming now, things have even opened things up so much more than it used to be. You might be able to make that argument, 20 or 30 years ago before streaming was such a big deal. There was that division was a little bit more clear than it is today.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of it is between the Texas and the, I guess, it just always seems like Texas music has always been more authentic. And then when you get into Nashville, as far as not Nashville as a city and Nashville as 90% of the players that are there, it's the 10% that making all the decisions and everything and the fluff that goes along with all that. That I think is where the rip between fans is, and I think that's why a whole lot of people from all over the country gravitate towards a lot of Texas artists because of the being authentic. Even there's always going to be people that only know what's on the radio, but for all the other people, I'm sure people find your music, from all over the place, and like it because it's not what they're hearing on the radio.
Right. And that's funny too, because you got a lot of Texas guys that are going to Nashville to record, and coming back, and it's like, well, hey, that's cool too. So, as long as it feels right, man, that's what I'm all about. It's just like what it sounds like, what it feels like, and I'm not big on the top 40 stuff, obviously, but it is what it is. There's some good talent in it.
Right. Yeah, I think that Nashville seems to be more of the kind of the meeting place. You know what I mean? Like that's where it took me a while to kind of realize that a lot of people come to Nashville and stuff to record at all different levels, because at all different levels there's a place for you to record, and there's pickers available, and all of that stuff. I mean, hell, I know the people that tour my area, but they all meet up in Nashville because that's where the bus company is. You know, I mean,
Right.
it's as simple as that. As logistics, a lot of times is why they're going to Nashville. It's just
Exactly.
the hub.
That's a great point. And kind of to what we were talking about earlier, I think there's a few Texas artists that have their own bus, but there are a lot of buses with Tennessee plates rolling around in Texas. So, it makes sense.
That's the reason why we get the last night before Nashville American Aquarium shows. Every time we get the
Gotta return the bus.
we get
They're
the
gonna put that
Tuesday
bus
or
up.
Wednesday night gig on the way back across the river. That's I'm like, guys, can't we get a Friday night gig? BJ's like, well, not with this bus.
Not with the schedule.
Right. So, so where did you record most of your music so far? Has it been local to you, or have you had to travel for that, or what?
So I've gone a couple different places, but my two main projects, back in 2018, 2019, I recorded my first EP out in Stephenville at Melody Mountain Studios, and Josh Serrato produced that back then. And then, I hit Rosewood a few times, went out to Yellow Dog, and went out to Fort Worth Sound. But this time for the album, we went back to Melody Mountain, and Serrato produced this album as well. And so, yeah, I mean, to answer your question, we kind of bounce around, but haven't recorded in Nashville. Just kind of Stephenville's about 5 hours away from where I live, so it's still technically traveling, I guess. But yeah, there's not really a whole lot of local stuff that I've been interested as far as studios go down here where I'm at. And plus, we just had such a good time with Melody Mountain up there in Stephenville that we decided to go back for the record. So,
Can you, Trent, can you tell us, for maybe some of the folks that aren't familiar, can you tell us a little bit about Josh and why he's so good at what he does?
yeah, man. So Josh is a badass lead guitarist. He started out in Six Market Boulevard, and then he went on to play for William Clark Green, and now he plays for Co-Wetzel. But the whole time, him and Ben Hussey, which he played with at Six Market Boulevard, he played bass for them, so they played together in that band. They've been managing and running Melody Mountain Studios for, don't get me lying on how long, but for a good while. I want to say at least 10 years over there.
Yeah, I think it's about a decade, yeah.
Yeah, and so, yeah, man, so he's been really just cutting a lot of the sounds in Texas as far as like, your Jordan Nicks, Jacob Stellies. He's even done some of the Giovanni and the Hired Gun stuff. He worked on Coe's new record, had a part in that. So just a really knowledgeable dude and insane guitar player. So shout out to him because he actually played a lot of the lead on the new record. So a lot of that stuff that you hear in Checking Boxes is actually him playing. So
Nice.
yeah, man, it's just really cool to get to hang out with him again. And man, he's just crazy because he just only gets better at producing. So
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. We're lucky to have him in the area, that's for sure.
yeah.
So is that style of that studio and his sound, is it a little bit more rockin' as far? I mean, I've listened to you and Giovanni and all those. I mean, is it a little bit more heavy compared to other places, or is that just happens to be the artist that you named?
Yeah, I think for the most part he does it all.
I got you.
But I think a lot of because Jacob Stelly, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's kind of more of a I don't even know, man, like a
Singer-songwriter.
yeah, he's a singer-songwriter kind of vibe, and he's not as heavy as like a Geo or like a Slade
Coe.
Coulter or Coe or whatever. So I think he does it all, and he just has a really good ear for that kind of whatever the vibe is. He can match it. So yeah, it's pretty incredible, honestly.
I guess I was meaning, I should have asked it differently, but when you decided to go there the first time, was that sound a reason for you to head there the first time, or what led you to record there with him?
Yeah, so man, I think it was just William Clark Green is one of, probably one of the guys that I've really looked up to as far as songwriting, and I met Josh through Will, and we out at shows and stuff, and he kind of said, hey, yeah, I'm doing this thing. And Ben Hussey, I've known him for a long time, so it kind of was just a happy kind of thing that happened, and man, I'm really glad it did. So that because that kind of thing is not always happen for everybody, I guess. So I'm super blessed to be able to get in and record music there. So
it was just the prior relationships.
Yeah,
that just made that easy. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that means there wasn't as many awkward moments or whatever at the first right. meeting. You guys are already kind of on the same page.
Well, and paying them helps too.
For sure.
I'm sure it does.
How much, Trent? How much pre-production do you do before you get in the studio?
Shoot, man, I'll probably play a song 11 different ways before I figure out if I like it or not. And I kind of went for the new record specifically. We went in with 2 songs that we had no idea what they were going to turn out to be, and that was Sad Song, and then that was Good Time. And Josh kind of had something interesting to say about that. He's like, man, don't send me any voice memos. Like, let's just create it on the spot. And so at that point, it was kind of like everything that we had thought about kind of went out the window, which was great because you're literally creating it as you speak. Like it's just happening right there in the studio, and you're recording it, and you're thinking of new things, and you're saying, oh, wait, let me do that again. Let me try this. And so to answer your question, not a whole lot of pre-production as far as compared to other studios where Rosewood, we'd pre-produce when I was there, but we'd kind of just, they would chart everything and then go in and they would just play it. Whereas like, doing the record at Stephenville was complete opposite. We just were, strictly creating in the rawest form, in my opinion.
Yeah, cool.
Did you have any of your band on those sessions with you?
Yeah, so my buddy Jake, he's kind of my right-hand man, my music director for the band, and he was laying down bass tracks. And then we kind of went through a transition of band members before the record, so we didn't get to have my current band on all the music, which is kind of a bummer, but ultimately, we had Hunter Napier. He plays for Jacob Stelly. He played the drums. And then, of course, Josh on guitar. And then Jack Pirtle, I think he plays lead guitar for Jacob Stelly. He was on the backup vocals. So shout out to all those guys for helping out on the project. It's kind of cool because, man, it's all about relationships and getting to know people and having other people come in with just a completely different vision in the studio. It kind of makes for an organic chemistry that really is unmatched because, you get to playing with your band for so many years or so many shows, you get locked into the same old thing, which is great for the live show because it'll never change. But when you're creating and stuff, I think it's really important to have just outside opinions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that. Yeah, but I could see where where having that connection with your band would be great on a lot of levels, but then having outside influences would also open the doors to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just FYI, there's a chicken chain here in the Memphis area named Jack Pirtle. Just saying. It's really good too. I mean, that's good chicken. Yeah. So you can let him know he's got some good chicken here in the Memphis area.
Trent, do you have any specific I don't know, 1-year goals or 3-year goals that you're trying to accomplish? I know you're probably trying to enjoy the process as much as you can, but just curious if you have any, longer term goals that you want to accomplish.
Man, I think in this next year, I'd love to get at least a booking agent, because I have a lot of friends in the industry that are very resourceful and very, very helpful. And that's just an honest blessing. But I'd like to get locked in with somebody on a professional level and get somebody to take me into new rooms and new markets and stuff like that. And honestly, I'd like to see the album, go maybe to radio, maybe push a song to radio, but that's a battle that I'm trying to figure out if I want to do or not.
Everybody is.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I think the ultimate main goal is just to produce the record and get it somewhere. So to lightly answer your question, that would probably be it. Book an agent and then take the record everywhere it can go. So
with regard to booking agent, I know typically the goal is to have them come to you as opposed to you going to them, or at least that seems to be the case. What things are you trying to do to make sure, I guess, that you're attractive to the right booking agents?
Man, I think acting and conducting business like somebody is watching. I think ultimately doing the job as you're supposed to do it and giving it your best all the time, even when no one is looking. And really just trying to get in good with other artists that might be on that level. Be the opening band. You're going to be that opening band for a while, and it sucks as far as pay goes, but that's doing more for you. It's getting in with people. It's building relationships. And I've probably said that more than once already, but I think that's very important. Is the relationships with people, and I think that's the main thing, is just trying to get people to talk about you to somebody that might be helping them out. So
makes sense.
What are some of the for outsiders? What are some of the pros and cons of getting that on radio like that? I mean, you said you'd like to, or you're debating on it and all that. What is that? I mean, you can touch on whatever parts of that you want to, but
Yeah,
I know we don't want to make it a bashing anything, but
no, I'm with you, man. I think ultimately it's just the fiscal idea of spending all that money of putting something to radio, and then I like to see more of a rate of return on stuff like that. Would that really help you sell tickets? Would that really help you for not stepping on anybody's toes? I think it just kind of is a resume builder, and that's it, in my opinion. But I mean, once you get to that level, I guess, of being on Billboard Top 40 and all that, you're going to be on the radio anyways. So for me, it's a struggle of trying to identify if that's an investment that I think I should make right now, when I can maybe put the same amount of money into advertising some other way, So I don't know. Really don't know.
it kind of sucks as an outsider to think that you got to pay to play. That sucks, but I know that's parts of the game.
To be fair to Trent, I think this is probably that conversation might be better for you and I just to have on our own, since we're not affiliated.
Yeah,
because it is, and even the Texas thing is different than other regional independent radios. So the whole Texas thing is kind of wild. So that might be a good topic for us to discuss, but I wouldn't want to get anybody hung up in that trap.
That's understood. Yeah. Well, if there's any of the shit that needs to be taken out, we can have that conversation after the fact.
That's right. So. Nobody's watching anyway, right?
Well, it was nice knowing you, Soul Gravy.
Yeah. That was a quick 20-minute interview there.
No, man, I think it's cool, man. I think ultimately any avenue that you can put your music out, I mean, it's ultimately what you want to do. It's just, for me right now where I'm at, it's a tough decision to make. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I completely understand.
Yeah, it's a wild deal. Trent, any bucket list locations in Texas that you haven't played that you would really like to play?
Oh, man. In Texas, Green Hall is definitely on the list. Green Hall is a big one. That's historic. Fun fact, I heard the other day that you had to pay to walk through the Willie door. You ever heard of the Willie door out there at Green Hall?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so there's a door that, I guess back in the day when Willie was playing there, it was so packed he was too nervous to walk through the crowd, and so they had to cut a hole through the screen, and hence the Willie door was born. So now artists can walk through that. But I found out the other day you have to pay to walk through that thing. Like if you play there, like even if you were playing there, if you're the artist, you have to pay to walk through there. So I thought that was kind of funny. But man, that's definitely a bucket list venue here in Texas that I like to play. Along with, man, there's a lot of great, pavilions and stuff, like the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion right here in the Woodlands, close to my neck of the woods, is a bucket list for sure. I think it seats like 18,000 people. So
Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah.
yeah, it's a good one. So
What about when you started getting into music and touring and all that stuff? Who were some folks that you ran into or you were in the same room with or around or whatever that you were just kind of shocked to find yourself in that space? Have you had those moments yet?
hell yeah, man. I got to open up I was on the bill with Tracy Lawrence. And I went into the green room just to get a water or something, and he was in there just hanging out. And I was taken back because I was like, oh, did not expect this. Like, I'm in there bebopping and, looking for a beer or a water or whatever it is. And I turn around and he's like, how you doing, young buck? Or he said young buck or youngster or something like that. And I was like, holy crap, that's Tracy Lawrence right there. And then somebody walked in, somebody from press kind of took me away from my awkward moment of like not knowing what to do. So I was like, cool. But it was cool to be in the same room, on the same stage, much more with him. So
The really cool part of that story was Trent was humming Sticks and Stones on the way out.
yeah. I walk in there singing Sticks and Stones.
Singing any of his songs.
Right.
Or like the
That's gotta be
TikTok
pretty
sound
cool.
that was out, about a year ago, where it's like, Daddy's smoking dope, Mama's
Yeah.
smoking dope.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what he thinks about that.
Oh, I'm sure. He probably loves it, honestly. He's
Yeah, probably just glad people are still listening,
Yep.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's cool though. I'm sure those moments like that are gratifying in all different ways. As far as, because I know it's a lot of hard work and a lot of time. So there's little moments like that. I'm sure kind of make you think that you're doing some things right.
Yeah, man, and honestly, it's very easy to lose sight of those little nuggets of indication of that you're doing something right, because you get so wrapped up in what you got to do, and you don't enjoy what you've already done to get where you're at, and you don't want to live in that all the time, but it's nice to kind of turn around and say, oh, hey, look how far I've come, and I think people should do that just a little bit more often, because it definitely is tough in the industry to kind of gauge your progress, especially when everybody's out there doing the same thing, and nobody wants to really, I don't know, nobody really shares any of that stuff, so I think it's really important to kind of take a look around every now and then and appreciate it. So.
Yeah, because that's gonna be one of the things that keeps you going.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man.
Because it would be easy to get really burnt out on it and then look around later and it might be a little too late to look around.
Right. Yeah. I'll never forget, man, that same day that I ran into Tracy Lawrence, Josh Ward was backstage, and we just got off stage from our line check or our sound check, and and I'd never met him before, and I always tell the story because it's just how people should be in the industry. I walked down the stairs from the stage, and he's like, hey man, how you doing? I'm like, oh hey, what's up, Josh? Great to meet you. All this and that. He's like, what time are you going on? And I said, man, we're the early spot. We're at 2:30. We're the first band. And he looks around. And he's like, man, that's horse shit. Y'all should be opening up for me. And I was like, what, dude? Like, I'd never met him before. And he said this, and the event coordinator was standing right next to him. And he turns to the event coordinator. He says, hey man, you don't see these guys out here on the road working their tail ends off? You got them going on at 2:30? And I said, man, I was like, man, I appreciate it. But I was just like, what do I say at this moment? And a couple minutes later, Josh comes knocking on our door, and he's like, "Hey man, you need anything?" I'm like, "No, dude, I think we're good." And he said, "Well, I got you a bottle of Crown. Let's drink it." And me and him ended up drinking that whole bottle of Crown that night, and became one of my really good friends. And it was just really cool because that was one of those moments where I realized that, hey, all those dive bars we played to 4 people, in other towns, somebody noticed that, and it happened to be somebody that's doing it right now, Josh Ward. So I thought that was really cool too.
So he obviously knew about you beforehand.
Yeah, which
if not, he played it off real well.
Yeah, if not, he played on that.
Well, and you would have to guess that he probably was in your situation at one point.
Oh,
so, that tells you what kind of person he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, not that long ago, I wouldn't think, right? I mean, he's been out for a while, but
yeah. I mean, not that long ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me and you, 20 years ago wasn't that long ago.
Right, so good point.
When he said 2000 country was kind of nostalgic.
Yeah.
There was people in the comments, including me, when it was like,
I know, I noticed this.
Oh damn!
All of our hearts stopped for a second there. We're like, yeah, it's cool.
Hey, full disclaimer, I'll be 30 this year, actually next month. And so 20 years ago, I wasn't doing much at 10 years old. So
Fair enough. Jamie said I should ask you about the flood. How is everything?
Oh, the flood. Depends on which one he's talking about. There's been like 10 of them, man. It's crazy. It's been raining its freaking butt off. We're good, man. We're floating.
Yeah.
But I think,
We hope everything's all right.
Oh, it's good down here, man. It's actually raining right now, but hopefully it stays down. I thought he was talking about one of the shows we did.
He might have been. I think it had multiple meanings, maybe.
Yeah, we were playing a show in Montgomery not too long ago. Actually, it was back in April, and man, it started raining, and we were in a cook-off tent, and the whole floor was just a whole mass of running water, and people were just standing in it, and it was probably 3 inches deep. And there was 100 people in there just sopping in the mud, and it was so hard that it was coming down the hill into the tent, and everybody just got wet, and we were having to move gear, and it was crazy. So yeah. There's been a few of those.
Understand. I wanted to ask you about building a band, because I know you said y'all started pre-pandemic, I guess, or a little bit before everything shut down. I don't think this is a thing we spend a whole lot of time talking about, but I'm learning how difficult it is to build the right band. Can you talk a little bit about what your thought process is and how you go about finding the right players and the right people to hang with and all the pieces that go into it?
Yeah, man. So I've actually had, whenever I started, I've had the same band for 4 or 5 years about. And so I never really had to worry about it until recently. And I think it's tough to find people that are just driven and have a work ethic outside of playing their instrument. But man, it's really special when you do. Like Shorty, I got to give him mad props, man. He's 16 years old playing the drums for me. And he is a talented kid. And of course, Jamie is right there beside him and just helping him out with everything. So I was blessed to run into those guys. It just, man, I don't know, because I haven't really had to utilize my looking for a band that much. I don't really know how to answer that question directly, I guess. But
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I think it's about a vibe for me. What your vibe is. Can you hang? Are you
Right.
talented? Are you work ethic? Are you driven to succeed in every aspect of doing it? So.
Yep.
Do you
Makes
have
sense.
plans to record with your current band at any time, as far as having a live sound like that? Is that something you want to do?
Oh yeah, man, definitely. We've talked about a live album. It would be really cool to do at least a live album, and if not doing that, maybe do one song together. You know how Cody Johnson did the long-haired country boy with Rockin' CJB. He put his band on it. That'd be kind of cool to do something like that, I think.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was meaning more of just even when you go to record your songs live, track it as far as playing it live in your recordings with your current band. I imagine that would be pretty cool. Yeah,
man, I want to do like a live at Billy Bob's. It'd be kind of tight to have a band up there tracking, like a live record, instead of in the studio or whatever.
Yeah. I imagine the live at Billy Bob's would be a pretty good bucket list of things to do as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it would. Yeah.
What's the pros and cons of having a 16-year-old drummer? You don't really have to answer that, but that's great that he's got that the work ethic and everything at that age. That's cool. I didn't know the age part completely. Like I knew he was a young fella, but I didn't know that much. Yeah, man, he's super talented. So I think if I could get him to stop drinking so many drinks, but I gotta give it to him. He can't drink beer, so what else is he gonna do? Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Jamie said he's the DD. Yeah, we always got somebody to drive us home. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. At least for another 5 years, right?
Couple.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are you up for playing songs or?
Yeah, man, I'll do one.
I got a couple.
Right here. Yeah.
Our folks in the chat would love that. They keep asking. So.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'm trying to keep up with these comments, but honestly, I think this is just my second TikTok live I've ever done. So appreciate y'all.
Doing great, man.
Cool, dude. Yeah, I kind of don't really know what to play, but how about this? I'll do the new one that's coming out this Friday. I've got a brand new song off the new record that'll be released this Friday. It's called If You're Really Leaving. You guys are hearing it first. If you're really leaving, here's the truth. There ain't a damn thing that I can do. I'm gonna say it ain't bad, like I always do. Still dial your number, but I can't count on you. If you're really leaving, go on and go, but don't start thinking that I won't let you go. I gotta get moving on. I gotta free my mind. I gotta start hanging up and quit wasting time. Well, are you tossing and turning without me lately? And when you're tossing them back, does it burn like crazy? No, I don't mean to get even, 'cause there ain't no reason. Well, I just hope it hurts tonight if you're really leaving. If you're really leaving, yeah, if that's the route you want to go, then don't turn down my road on your way home, 'cause I can't help you now. All it's done is done, and you can't turn around after you've had your fun. So it's tossing and turning without me, baby. And when you're tossing them back, it's gonna burn like crazy. No, I don't mean to get even, 'cause there ain't no reason. I just hope it hurts tonight if you're really leaving. Go looking now. What's done is done, and you can't turn around after you've had your fall. So I hope it hurts tonight. Yeah, I hope it hurts tonight. If you're really leaving, you're really leaving. Go on, girl. Hell yeah, man. That's a brand new one this Friday.
Yeah, that's a damn good one, man.
Very nice.
Thank you. I appreciate it, John.
Man, you had all kind of comments down there going on. So the TikTok live sometimes can lead to not necessarily the best video or whatever, but the live comments I think are really cool. Getting to see the actual feedback on its own. Looks like he had some family down there and some friends and everything. So that's always cool. So.
Oh, Daniel Andrews, my boy, man. And of course, my beautiful girlfriend commenting. Sweet, man. Yeah, I'm just now seeing all these because I don't know how to work this thing.
It's probably just as well sometimes. I know Checking Boxes came out 2 weeks ago, or about 2 weeks ago. Is that right?
June 21st. So,
oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
so it's been out a little. Okay. And then new one's coming out Friday, and then October 5th for the new album. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've actually got one more single coming out August 30th on that Friday. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, it'll be 3 singles, and then the full record drops October 4th. So looking forward to that.
What, in terms of kind of your, I guess, distribution strategy, or what went into thinking like, hey, I want to do 3 singles and then release the album? I know everybody's got kind of a different take on why they do, how they release music. So just curious kind of what yours was.
Yeah, so, man, honestly, I haven't released a whole lot of music consistently. For me, it was just a matter of getting in the studio and having the money to record songs. So doing it, I kind of just released a single when I could.
Right.
But now with this record, I had a lot of help with from Cowboy Revolution. They helped me with the record. We sold some hats to pay for it, so I had a little bit of money in the bank to actually do it all at once. And so that kind of got into my strategy of, I guess, trying to stay on the radar as far as releasing 3 singles up front. And honestly, man, nobody's doing the album thing anymore, and I kind of wanted to just do it, just to try it. And I think a cool way of mixing the whole single thing with the album thing is, doing the pre-release deal.
Right.
So that was kind of my idea behind it. It's just kind of giving myself some time to build some momentum, or at least try it, because nobody knows, man. It's just rolling fast. But that was kind of my idea behind it. So we'll see if it works.
It seems like the best strategy at this point in time, as far as, just like you said, you're getting the best of both worlds, doing the singles and the album, just spacing it out like that. Yeah, and plus, man, I wanted to have something to hang on my wall. So, I guess it's cool, man. The whole idea of a record, I just love the sound of an actual vinyl record. So I don't know, somehow that has something to do with it too, even though I'm not really going to do vinyl records till later on. But, it's just the whole idea of having a whole project and writing a whole project instead of just putting out one song every 12 weeks or whatever, Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Tabo?
Oh, I was just going to ask with regard to social strategies. That so much of how we get noticed today is through social media. So you don't have to give away any trade secrets, but how much time do you spend thinking about how you want to present yourself on socials and kind of what that looks like?
Man, I've been working with my buddy Drew to release some content, and it's the most I've ever done this far, which is kind of bad to say, but I think social media is crucial, obviously. And so trying to dive in, it's a full time job doing what you guys do, even with the podcasts and me being an artist. You got to just push out anything. I mean, people want to see. I think they want to see the behind the scenes more than they want to see the fully produced video or the album cover or whatever. I think they want to see you as a person, and so I've been trying to learn about all that, and that's kind of just a learning curve for me for the past 6 months, really. Just trying to find the content and trying to figure out when to post and dealing with freaking Facebook and Instagram not showing people my posts. It's a nightmare. What do y'all think about the whole? I don't know if y'all have experienced anything like shadow banning or whatever the heck they call it, but man, I don't know what's going on.
It's definitely different the last few months than it used to be, as far as just from what I can tell anyway. TikTok anyway, I can see the numbers and the likes and everything a lot more than say Instagram or Facebook. And it's like you get a lot at one time within that first hour or two, and then it's gone. And used to it was just different than it used to be, and I don't know what the answer to any of that is these days. Like I could see some of it a year ago, but now I don't know what it is. So it's hard to
it's a little
tell.
bit of a black hole.
But I can definitely, I post just enough stuff that I can tell where it would be discouraging for people that the posts really matter to. Like mine is just a hobby, but you guys, you really need it to be shared and to be seen. So I don't know exactly what those what those answers are. If I ever figure anything out, I'll definitely pass the word.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and by the way, people listening, share this live.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I think
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying in the chat we had a couple requests for "She Don't Like Roses." I don't know if that's in the repertoire tonight or not, but
yeah, absolutely. I think I'd love to play that song for Melissa, and then we might even play Either Way too for Marsha. I'm seeing those comments now. Yeah.
So there was a comment about to tell the story about Fly Tonight. Is that something that?
Oh yeah. Well, if Hannah's still on here, I wrote that song about the first night I met my girlfriend. We've been together for 4 years now, and I wrote that song about basically going above and beyond just to get her attention because it's funny, man. Like that night I met her, I had to do whatever I could to get her attention. Well, what that ended up being was me buying her a $20 beer because I had to convince the bartender to sell me one because they had already said last call. And so I went up to the bartender and basically bribed her with $20 to give me a beer so I could take it to her, and that's what broke the ice. And so I wrote that song, and for her, every time I play it live and she's in the crowd, I always embarrass her a little bit and point her out.
It's always a must to embarrass your people.
Well, yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask before I forget. And checking boxes, crossing lines, the album art on that is one. It's not necessarily what you see on a lot of country albums, which is cool. Any insight on that?
So yeah, I think that album art really is just about the song. I started kind of diving into ideas about the lyrics. Like if only I could rob a train, or maybe I'd rob a bank, and then we ended up going to the studio and cutting some of the guitar sounds and all the sounds and stuff, and kind of got to talking about it, and we're like, some of the vibe is kind of like outer space, man. There's like a lot of reverb and a lot of just this big like eerie guitar, and it kind of made me think of this space cowboy vibe and this like spaghetti western vibe, but then it kind of turned into what it is now, and I think it's freaking perfect because you got the alien girl in there, and then if you look close enough on the record, that's actually my face. I'm the cowboy on that album cover, and and it's just, the train's leaving the casino, the bank, the city, Metroplex, and then there's people chasing after the train. So it kind of has a lot to do with checking boxes, crossing lines, and a lot of the lyrics there. So I like how it turned out. Yeah. But yeah, man. Jamie said, what made you write checking boxes? Man, I got kind of irritated one day. I was at Five Guys Burgers and Fries, and it was just me, and I sat down after I ordered, and I looked at my receipt, and it was $25 just for me to get a burger and fries. And for some reason, it really just aggravated me. I was like, man. And so right then and there, I started thinking of the line. Man, I've been trying hard just to get along. Which, by the way, people are asking me, what are you saying in that first line of the chorus? It's along, ALONG, not alone, like not alone from the bank. Just trying to get along with my life and stuff, and trying not to pay $25 for a cheeseburger. So that's really inspired the song of how everything's just getting expensive, and how kind of people are getting fed up with inflation, and it kind of makes you wonder sometimes about how far you go just to make a living for yourself. And, so that's where it came from.
Gotcha.
Very cool. All right, we'll shut up here for a little bit and let you roll.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm going to play She Don't Like Roses. Couch ain't as comfy when the work is light, but that stove is hot and that porch feels right. Oh, how the yellow bulb shines. Is it far-fetched, baby? I've got a ragged soul in my rough hand show, but you still think I'm perfect when I get to hold you close. But damn it, darling, won't you hang up the phone? I'll love you till the morning when I get back home. She don't like roses, she likes whiskey and coke. And if she gets me high, just like one more toke. Honey, when I'm low, won't you feel all my pain? Well, she's like the sunshine, she's like the rain. Brazos County, we were watching candles burn, and I was something you held on to, knowing all the lessons you've learned. When the scenery's a-changing, well, it ain't our season, baby, and to get from this storm to brighter days just seemed crazy. But we saw the clouds and never felt the downpour. So don't give up on me, girl, give me some more. She don't like roses, she likes whiskey and coke. And if she gets me high, just like one more toke. Honey, when I'm low, won't you feel all my pain? Well, she's like the sunshine, she's like the rain. She don't like roses, she likes whiskey and coke. And if she gets me high, just like one more toke. Honey, when I'm low, won't you feel all my pain? Well, she's like the sunshine, she's like the rain. Oh, she's like the sunshine, well, she's like the rain. Just like the rain. For all the whiskey drinkers. What up, Jeff Canada?
Yeah, man.
There it is. Shout out to Jeff. Thanks for joining, Jeff.
So
Good
yeah,
stuff.
I guess that was a great song, man. It's cool to see all the comments, especially from your people down there and everything. That's cool to see. Looks like you got a pretty good little base team for sure. So that's cool.
It was my people.
Yeah. When so we'll get a couple quick questions and let you get out of here. I guess we're coming up on about an hour or so. We gotta wait till the major question that somebody spoiled you on spoiled the question on Facebook.
Oh no!
Talbot. I know.
How did that happen?
Our buddy Meg. I don't know. I'll have to talk
She
to her.
is permanently banned for a week.
Troublemaker.
Trouble.
Well,
So-
just edit it. No, nobody's gonna know. Just the
Yeah,
30
it's
of
okay.
us in here or
It's
whatever.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, the last interview, Mike asked the question from the chat.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, we need to work on our crowd.
who are some people that we should be listening to, or are people in our chat? You know, some folks that we might not know that you know.
Man, I don't know if y'all know Jeff Canada, but he was popping in here. He's a local guy. Jeff Canada, great songwriter. Jake Bush, I don't know if y'all know him.
Yep.
Jake Bush is definitely making his rounds. He was in here earlier too. And, man, my buddy Daniel Andrews, he's out there in Nashville. He lives over there in Tennessee. But man, right now I really like. And of course, you heard of Zach Top already. There's so many people that have yet to just get the light shined on them, and there's so many good people, talented people down in Houston too, man. So I could just email you a list of people I think you should be listening to, and that'd probably be easier, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's just nice for folks in the chat to hear these names, and especially like with Jeff, you know, see the face and where you can actually go pick them up and get familiar with them. So that's cool when moments like that happen. You want to take number 2? You got a quick question?
Let's see.
No.
Oh, well, I got a question. What's something that, like, I don't know, these podcasts sometimes can be kind of odd because you're put into this weird box and people start firing questions at you and you got to, keep it under control. But what's something that you don't get asked that maybe you wish folks would ask of you?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. I'm like Ricky Bobby whenever it comes to questions, man. I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands half the time. So to be honest with you, I don't really think about questions that I want to be asked a whole lot. But
Fair enough.
man, I think I think just kind of what I really enjoy talking about is kind of the experience of the road and kind of the live show aspect of things, like creating the set list or how does it work when you sound check, or what kind of sound system do you like, and all that kind of stuff. I really like those questions because I really enjoy that kind of thing. So man, like maybe a question would be just kind of how do you run your live show, like on a deeper level. I mean, people can come see me play and understand what I do, but kind of maybe more of the live aspect would be kind of a fun question to answer. Just like there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes of the show that people don't know about. So that'd be kind of fun to talk about, I think.
Are you
All right, cool.
gearhead by nature, or are you just learning about it as you have to do all this?
The latter, man. I'm definitely learning as I go, but I've definitely tried to take notes as much as I can on all the gear, and I like to kind of dive in. You can't sleep at night. I'll just dive in on a vocal processor or like a Rupert Neve console or something. I'll just go off on something and learn about something crazy that I can't afford, but it's fun to maybe figure one day.
For sure.
So,
All
Get
right,
that.
man. Well, we'll get you with the last one then, since it's already been, I guess if we're trying to pretend like it didn't happen on Facebook, follow Trent Cowie on Facebook, and you can go see that comment by Meg there and tell her nice going. So Trent, what is your favorite Little Debbie cake? This is
Man,
the tough questions that we have to ask here, you know.
It's just mind-boggling that you would ask me that. I'm not prepared at all. Dude, I love, do you remember the Star Crunch? Star Crunch? You remember those?
Yes.
The shits were
It's a good thing
delicious.
Matt's not in here.
Matt blow the gasket.
Yeah,
He hates them or what?
yeah. I'll send you the video of it.
Well,
It's funny.
and how
Just
I
one of
see
my
it is-
buddies.
Yeah, how I see it is you're either a fan of cosmic brownies or you're not. And I'm not a fan of cosmic brownies. So I'm a Star Crunch guy, I guess.
I got you.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, I've had my share of them too. It's just Matt really. It's like out of all of them, that's the one that you'll just have to meet Matt one day. And then you'll understand. He's his own special character. So I'll send you the clip. It's pretty damn funny. But anyways, Trent, I appreciate the time. And what you said, you've got more music coming out. When did you say? This week?
This Friday, yeah. This Friday, Really Leaving comes out. So go and snag that. You can pre-save the record right now. There's a link on my profiles to pre-save the record. And as the songs release, they will unlock on the record. So you don't have to do anything but download the whole thing and you'll get them when they come out. So Friday, If You're Really Leaving, and August 30th, Good Time comes out. So got some cool things happening.
Fantastic. Well, we're thrilled to have you join us, and we're all cheering for you, buddy.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you so, and thank you, Tabo. Much love to y'all.
All right.
Yeah, man. Good to meet you.
Take care of yourself.
Later.